Everybody say, say, how can I express my gratitude for all the many things you've done for me? Words are not enough, to say thank you. So Lord, you are my everything. You're my everything. How can I express my gratitude? How can I express my gratitude for all the many things, you've Father, you done for me, yeah. Words are not enough to say thank you. So Lord, you are, you're my everything. See, I call you Jireh. You're my provider. I call you Nisi. You are my banner. I call you Rapha. Hey. You are my healer. Say, Lord, you are. You're my everything. I call you Jireh. You're my provider. I call you Nisi. You are my banner. I call you Rapha. You are my healer. Say, Lord, you are. You're my everything. Are you ready, everybody? All right, listen. William Migran, come here. 1, 2, set. I can breathe without you, say. I can breathe without you. I can move without.
You are muted.
Happy International Women's Day. Today we celebrate all the women around the world who inspire us in so many ways, and I believe you are one of them. Happy International Women's Day. And then so mema obi biara kwa ba baby biara wo. And mema ha mema chi mema jo baby awo no ade acho na ade asan. Na say ewiampo a na ne nyina me de nchia kese e de bro. Media ne manyeti. And then so enigesem na aribia ye ba ma kwan say edu Friday si a de ahosepe ene ahokeka e de nsempa e de bremus nsem a be ma mo beto manam yi se eba no immigration nsem mu a eba no legal matters a baby bia obeye ade bia obetumi agina so buta bia obenya na so de ato anamo eno na edu every Thursday, Friday, any Saturday. BWF Solicitors ene na soefo nyinara omakom ho se omode be bre community no se na ebenya ho mfasodi ena nso emre ne bi ni eye Friday mene ye papa ba kom enche bi ameyi ne ho edi na ye de ensem dede a ede be bre mu megide se onko baabi a obeka ye ho na fitiasie ya ekwawie ye no na wenya wo chefa wo media ne manyeti mpacho betwa me ho simape meba sisia na afa ye de dwumedie no ahyase.
Welcome to BWF Solicitors, a trusted and experienced family law firm specializing in immigration and naturalization, as well as dispute resolution. Meet Bernard Owusu, our esteemed senior partner with over 30 years of experience and known for his expertise and dedication to serving our clients and the community. BWF Solicitors stand for integrity, respect, excellence, teamwork, diversity and inclusion, and service to the community. We provide tailored assistance across all areas of UK and Ghana law. At BWF Solicitors, every day is filled with dedication, creativity, and a commitment to finding the best solutions for our clients. Led by experienced senior partner Bernard Owusu, the team at BWF Solicitors is ready to assist you with your immigration, naturalization, dispute resolution, family law, new wills and probate, Ghana law and practice needs. We are dedicated to providing solutions to our clients' problems. You can find us at the 4th floor, Anna House, 214 to 218 High Road, Seven Sisters, London, N15 4NP. Main office line 0208 493 7340 or our emergency line 07712 761 884. Our private client services team is recognized for providing clear and practical legal advice to our clients in the United Kingdom and Ghana. Expert help with will writing, probate or estate administration. Our will writers and probate lawyers can act for you to obtain grant of probate and carry out estate administration on your behalf. The probate takes place after someone dies. If there's a will, the named executor is responsible for ensuring that the estate of the deceased is secured, assessing its value and paying any inheritance tax. If there is no will, the intestate and inheritance rules require similar responsibilities. Our lawyers offer strategic and practical solutions to the issues which clients face, whether it's in relation to succession planning, will preparation, probate and the administration of estates, immigration and visas, contentious family or probate disputes, administering estates often with inheritance cross-border issues, international trust advice including residence, domicile issues, wealth preservation, a fast, efficient service from SRA-regulated professionals, transparent pricing. BWF Solicitors, let us take care of probate. Let us take care of probate.
Yo, mema obi biara kwa ba biom. Ankrankran bi a ohwe ye anope yi mema wakwa ba. Menua ma egu fidie so. Kankan ye nua ba Tiliduma, Margaret Du Jemfi, ye kan say Sarah Ponzo, set Ikea Enima, Nana Sapoma, Ohima, Nana Ama, Betty, Linda Adai. Just say me bobodi na ye nyemfi ha na me mo bibia Happy Women's Day. Me de samoba so a anamahye de amaye BWF Solicitors edwumedie na ye de bremu se wo hwehwe BWF Solicitors kira kwan a address no etwegu omase ubehu se ne nyina wo ho ene even emergency number obetumi de akohonom ne nyinara wo ho ye be sha ase se emre no ko enti no me sha ase wa ha na ma introduce me resource person no onya ba so a odinchia kese bedi kan e de ama mo nyina na afi de me de dwumedie no ato aso nti me ma mo nyina akwa aba ye resource person na ye papa ba ko ye nua be ma ba ko sisi ade o trend be bia no other person than ye papa lawyer Charles Asmah pacho me ma akwa aba bra Charles.
Your sister, Manye Ten. That's what you
Me
said.
ma akwenya adom me ho ye me ma akwenya na odinchia kese ametiefo na ahwefo na afi de ne me wo na ma start e de etudwane akoye nim.
You were here for now for and if you're that and pay and so I saw Yamiani say dear. Thank you very much for coming. At the piano and a bear come because a beboa bebre. Jedin check I see a bro if you BWF Solicitors Australia from Uncle Ben to everybody in the BWF family. They can say Yamin Shrena in suffer wunya na onusu metie bi na nyina empowered to enjoy our stay in the UK and baby I will be
Yo, medasi lawyer Charles, medasi papa. It's for munya baso amon share ne more do and more de because ye be program no. Say I am bia uhu eti ewo baby abomodi ana fre ne bepto me aboa wa kwan bia so. Yo, ena enkosen. Ni enimu ni say eya na yebo domestic violence a ye nyina ya adwen ekọ emma na eye most of the time victims fall into such incidents. Na ampanso uhwe calculate in terms of percentage a utime hu say emma ankokra ma be 80-85% of women and ya na suffer domestic violence. Na statistics enso edi ho adanse emema kakra suffer domestic violence ene enkwala nso no wohwe ankwala de memfa nka ema ne mema warefo titiri mu de meyi nkwala na firi mu ansa nkwala nso ka ho omo nso omo go through but meyi in this case no meyi nkwala firi mu na me de oba ne obema awarefo titiri violence ekoso ewo mfie. Na ne tie ne se me ka mama na akoye emma day ye oba yesi oba so it doesn't matter so ye mame say wo ye oba tan yesi oba women until we are celebrating all women around the world. Edwuma bia wo ye bia eso eni oba edwuma bia wo ye bia eso eni na mom se ba aware mu a eto de bia na nsemsem ntokwa nyoma nketenkete na ewura aware ni mom ena ansa na sebio obema nso ebe violate anase obeye violence towards oba no na ni nyina kowie ye ka ne se ebufu hyew ene suban ene e ka ho emema ne bi ewo saa suban kakra anu ato ne nsa abo oba kakra anu eyi oba kakra no didi natam ema ne bema ne bi wo saa suban sanso na etore bi ana akoma ye ka ne se ebufu hyew na oba no so unka wanu ntum na ne gegegege na obema ne de ebufu no abom na ye koyenim dabi ene ye beka domestic violence se esi wa aware mu esi wo fie se esi wo relationship mu esi wo partnership mu ni nyina ene ye beka ho asem na ne ebehu ne se embra home office for estati se o ye di emma e can say care workers, especially care workers skill migrant roots ya eba ya ye asesa care workers majority abegu krom ha ne omukunu dodo na de omukunu ne omno yere mu na eba ye sanso na yebehu a ye nkromu de ukọ school na so ube school abrochi a ne yebehia se wo yere beka ho na ukunu beka ho se ne ebe ya ukọ school no mu so mu ye adwuma kakra e de boa na ni nyina mu no eya na sikasem akoye tare sikasem so ba de enibre nso ba na kire se oba nto ne nsa obema eto ne nsa oba ndi atem didi a na obema nso di atem didi na kire se violence ne moa na eko. When we talk of domestic violence and lawyer ba be kire mu ba o de men kan me mpeni nsam kakra minim domestic violence and non kire se obema na oba ato nsa abo nko a we have so many aspects of violence ekoso obi mema one example pe emotional cry obi to me cause so violence your emotional circumstance mo na kire se ube fie cry na we yem hihie no na kire se odi areho na nyina emotional blackmail e ka domestic violence no na mom enani eba be gina so no you see the new domestic violence provisions for especially students and care workers dependent spouses muntie ni you new provision aba say we go through such violence especially na ebe focus on students any care workers or more dependents ya and they say ochinachi say hey obi kra ni kunu ni yire ti ho student and a care worker omo wo ho onim say we na ye main applicant sorry I'll say ho we ya mejaw say na be ya onkrata be say me say ene unni baby akra bo modern stay wa ha na fra onu ebi fra wadanfo bi se ene topic aye ba be kire no ebe bua nkro bebre se ukom se unkom me de me na me ka me se ebe bua wo kwan bi so enti fra nkrofo no mo bra se ene topic na aye de aba no sambua okra na emfra manyeti enti me tonsa afrele lawyer penny lawyer Asmah na membisa nimfua ayembia ansa na yebekọ wensumpo no say ye can say update kitu ebi wo ho a obetumi de ama na say bi ni ho nso a metu akonya na ama no no nkyere ye ka domestic violence kra ene ne de ade ansa ne aba provincial ban eye home office na UK aban e de ato ho ama omo ye student a ye nim uye student wo krom a age a wo de student say school ben na wo ko primary school and secondary school and university or see ye hu and afa wo dependent ye ka wo dependent na bia na wo yire ne wo ma ana wo kunu ne wo ma eno nso mema lawyer Asmah a cheche sa categories nyina se ne be ya ye fa case by case no ya tiasie ye na afa ya to hu anamo lawyer Asmah wo de mesa to nsa afra obium na cheche ye ka domestic violence ne kra na eno ne ade ben eno eden senete ana akoye domestic violence mpacho cheche ye mu
Yo, for na for and then so ye share. Na yaka say o de yen chiche words no emu anase kasefo no yen bie mu. Edi kan ye say domestic. And I was so say violence. Domestic ne say ifie. Violence ye atete. Nti ifie atete a eha se bema anase oba. Nti betuma abesa bema no na otete oba no. Anase oba no na otete bema no. Baby ebefi baba bia no ya tete no bi. Na efa different baby na eba. Betumi abesa atete no efa sikasam enho. Betumi abesa atete no efa ayakayaka de enho. Esa atete no efa atemdidie enho. Esa atete no efa de bia no na nimpa no eka wenim say we dey we are worthless, we dey we are useless, we dey we dey say I don't know what to say ni nyina no eye atete anase violence a esi ewo efie no ebi word ba kwa provision say abrofo eyusu no as almost friend of abuse nti na sa atete no say efi be ma ho na say efi oba ho no aya na ha nipa no a ye de do fa sa ekwan no eso no ekele anase ekunu sunsun na ema nipa no ema ne na ema nipa no enya eniji ewo ifie no mu anase aware no mu anase abrabo. You are muted. You are muted. Maya, you are muted.
Our private client services team is recognized for providing clear and practical legal advice to our clients in the United Kingdom and Ghana. Expert help with will writing, probate, or estate administration. Our will writers and probate lawyers can act for you to obtain grant of probate and carry out estate administration on your behalf. The probate takes place after someone dies. If there's a will, the named executor is responsible for ensuring that the estate of the deceased is secured, assessing its value and paying any inheritance tax. If there is no will, the intestate and inheritance rules require similar responsibilities. Our lawyers offer strategic and practical solutions to the issues which clients face, whether it's in relation to succession planning, will preparation, probate and the administration of estates, immigration and visas, contentious family or probate disputes, administering estates often with inheritance cross-border issues, international trust advice including residence, domicile issues, wealth preservation, a fast, efficient service from SRA-regulated professionals, transparent pricing. BWF Solicitors, let us take care of probate.
for Monfan Chairman na me screen na bibi. Yo, near Tiani said last mommy that's what chechim domestic and the violence. Into you the difference between the two. Yeah, that's it. Se si ano, sa tete na you come no. eye efie atete. When we say domestic what church mama efie atete nam enipa mienu ana nipa baako ekom ewo fie no yemfa nko yesi aban no ama nhihye eye hihye foforo because aban na tena se ehu se Debbie bia na say reporter yeti ewo lawyers omo ye can say intelligence omo couple information edema home office no omo hu say majority community no ne obeti an say violence domestic violence say edibuao say edimbuao nti abana atena se home office atena se hu say Debbie tene ne omo ekono emwa ebinom titru dodo na ebegu mu for the past 4 years embo mo kra enti no omanya atenka na through some of petitions na ade nso a akụkọ okosoi omatie na mo si Debbie yemfa nhyehyɛ ento ho emasa nkrofo yi a go through such you can say problems yi mu enti na ye ba be ka the new provision a yama for domestic violence victims students any care workers dependent no eno na ye ka me nua adofo wo a waba so mesre obomode na frobi tili me da se papa me hu se obi di Frankie Barnett mpamocho mon block ne ma me kakra why ene udi rofa ye be block you enya ha na eba betan de we are talking about legal matters here into mon block is ani pa ne ma me kakra na ya koso ya koyenim no sisi a lawyer Asmah eba ne sen na aban sei odem hihye foforo ebeto e de ama student for because yenim say ye won hihye bi dada wo ho a omo ko domestic violence ma mo victim omo ye domestic violence for no omo fem na obi be see ye de ma on krata me kan krata bi mu na ye de settle omo e wa ha bi mu na akomo mo ba bi mu kra na akomo mo refugee kan say nye refugee ye kan shelter ni akomo mo shelter na ye say ye ni omo asie owo mo kunu no na omo yire no a omo bubu a na omo tete omo ewo fie na ye si hihye foforo nti hihye foforo no eno etisen lawyer Asmah
Yo na medase bebre tiefo ne ahwafo senia yenim no aban for the past year there have been a series of changes and they come fast almost every month we see a change. Now one of the changes by no efa domestic violence provisions na eho no dada no eho. Now we know about 31st of January 2024. 31st of January 2024. No appendix victim of domestic abuse. Appendix victim of domestic abuse. And this version 16. So we share board is who say this is the policy guidance. Efficacy for yade amodiama workers say use so be your application no. Nti we share data by this was published just last month, 31st of January 2024. No more publish here, and I can say from 1st of to 31st of January, so 1st of February, and I start to say a year a Jumabesi and then a womb near a woman no a far near na hodada and the new ones are on the account. Now near hodada no a domestic violence concession or domestic abuse concession for Kofwa or Mukwasa atiti no emu. Ubi ma wakofa ne ho kafo efi amanoni aba. So be man no kofa oba no anase oba no kofa be man no. Most of the time no you can say we you can straight say man no mo victims. But sometimes you know men man so tutumi ye victims e man ye. Enti so we be man na wuti a we nso ekọ ema wo. So betumi the application atum ema na ye because it is both. Now me na ye can say ebia na bema no na okofa oba no anase oba no okofa bema no it doesn't really matter. Na nia ekosi ni say ese say ono na okofa no nti anase wa ye ade no ema no nti anase wa agi na atene mu nti o feel say o control bi ewo no so. Ai me na maboa o you've been ungrateful or you've been that enya me anka say sa nyoma no ekoso no empo bia na nipa no mfa ne sa embo but emma we go through emotional stress nti ni so eka eho abi na eno no ye nkofo a omakofa omoyere anasa omokunum aba so nipa no was settled status anasa British citizenship na wakofa naba na obaye no odineni anasa or violating in one way or the other senior ya chiremu no or tete no na ne akoba no say okay wo de yebehwe wade ni wu a yebehwe say why no be renew amao make sure say you be call back to Krum say Afghanistan say Ghana wherever I will make sure say you be call back ebi mu crowd to make us a mefre fikesim aka kire won say ye ni hobie enti say we ni nyina no blackmail ya nkrofo use de etete omo de omo nkrata anase omo aware won na omo de omo nkrata akata omo so no na old law say wo kọ sa atete ni mu a wutumi ema aban ehu ne wukom na omo aban ama 3 months transfer of leave transfer ni say you fi wukunu anasa weyere no a wo hye nase no na aban ama independent leave a your friend no 3 months domestic violence concession ya de ma wi a wutumi ye fi wutumi ye application anasa aban no kra tumi eboa wo say kwaji aban esika a your friend no public fund wutumi gi benefit because nipa no a odo buy no hwe wo nje o say omboa wo bi mu a na just a visa no aye aba at risk at the same time we did enso aye bayadin nti aban ma 3 months na aban be hwe say wo be didi plus emma wo ne omo ewo ho ni nyina a mo nyina da 2.5 so no from there no we buy application for indefinite leave to remain nti sa for no de omo wo fast track to settlement nti esi ya wo the application to mu na about 3 months na wa kwaye indefinite no na afi de when you settlement na chance say ya no wote wase wo hia be ma na otete wo no anasa oba na otete wo no ebiem but before that we go through the steps because there are eligibility requirements as I say we meet and as a requirement you know na utumi meet ya or na who claim say you are going through domestic violence you have to prove it unfortunately or fortunately you have to prove your case so utumi prove your case there na aban etie na with the evidence na to ho na ya ma indefinite and then yeah na wo ho dada na baka ho no say so we go to a friend is saying policy na e buy no policy na e buy no a friend appendix victim of domestic abuse no now all can say safo no extending no cover students and migrant workers at the same time so no extending no to cover overseas partners and I say spouses abandon one because of the same treatment you know obi ma oba odo akọ bia makọ holiday no as woni bibi okra no menu me ho nti me kọ meja wa ha say na chere say nipa no has been abandoned nti policy we no covers those people as well I find no transnational concession for domestic and as victims of domestic violence na your core eligibility no a edi kan se na metire mu no student for ewo ho na mo a omoye regular 2.5 under 5-year-old or family life spouses for enso ewo ho na ye skilled workers and as migrant workers for enso ede ewo ho na expansion no akaba safo yi na we a student na woni ukunu na wo UK ukunu na kofa wo baaye nti student we dependent of that student, you know. Obaye, you are going through Nyayabubosi at a TB air coso. Aban says, Sunday, dear, so which me pay muka, Obama 3 months. Obama 3 months. 3 months, no, de kaya den, o de ebebo wo bra more or less, o de bepe bibi aye. So 3 months, near the mawa, you don't need now that's so as a student dependent, you know, ABU. While when you would 3 months. But 3 months, you know, or more no, especially more your partners and appendix FM, or more armed forces partners near Adiano. South for the now your more 3 months are which me a call winning in your indefinite. But students for any skilled workers for any dear, or to me and call indefinite leave to remain. The moment share a hono and so. See, I know your friend with destitution, domestic violence concession. Into destitution, domestic violence concession, cover students, part dependents. Because a dependent, I'm not talking about Nkwalano, Nembum, say spouses, no, some Okunu, and Nessa or Yereno. But of course, some Nkwalawum, and my Bemano, no, Nkwalano, maame no nyinaa ɛbaeɛ deɛ a sɛ maame no kɔ n'anim because of that a obetumi nso agye ama nkwalaa no bɛno no 3 months pɛ obi bɛbisa sɛ na adɛn nti na aban ɛma 3 months pɛ na ɔma saafoɔ no so indefinite leave to remain. There's something called floodgate na ɛno na aban de biara the policy ɛba a or try sɛ ɔmbie saa gate no wide a ɛba affect ɔman no. So we doing kakra 3 months. The bomb say in the future no only be wider so that you can even get more than 3 months to survive. It's only 3 months now. Now say as I finding alternative means to switch from your no to something else. So per se what's no after 3 months now. So 3 months no so no we bet me aji abai emboa a friend no public fund access no obetumi agye yɛbɔ bibi so a yɛfrɛ no transnational domestic violence anaasɛ abandonment nti weifoɔ no yɛ wɔn a yɛde wɔn akɔ holiday ɛwɔ mu kurom na yɛgya wɔ hɔ na bɛrima no anaasɛ ɔbaa no adane ne ho abɛtena UK na wɔagya the other party no ɛwɔ hɔ. There was case a ɛkɔ court, case of AM no ɛyɛ obi din and for confidentiality nti nipa no ɛwɔ anonymity nti nea anyima ne sɛ AM ne Secretary of State enya asam nti mmara no ɔmo di asam no ewie 2022 na ɛbɛyɛ mmara nea wei ɛka ne sɛ woware obi na wode ne kɔ holiday ɛwɔ mu kurom na wokɔgya no wɔ hɔ na woba na wo say bye bye bobra or member found maybe more or see you have abandoned that person. Signing panu betumi ay application ewo or mine mu e de back under this provision aban introduce ti yekoye nim no e bekoso esua.
Yo Asmah yɛdaase na kyerɛ sɛ sɛnea tie bia na aban no ɔyɛ a na webie mpoma no kakra sɛnea ɛbɛyɛ a obiara nto nhyɛm huu te sɛ neɛ kɛɛfoɔ deɛ yi baeɛ a obiara tutu hyɛ mu hwii nsɛsi a webie kwan kakra no woka sɛ the last bit na woka na yɛ me dem or question kakra but menhwɛ last bit na woka sɛ embia na wo ne ukunu ti krom ha UK so ye student and ye care worker na nsɛmsɛm esi mu ntɛm nsɛmsɛm si mu ntɛm no ahwɛ da nyunyan bi adada sɛ oh mo kɔ holiday kɛkɛ no ma asan ba na mo kɔ ya na sɛ ye fio sɛ ye kuro foforo so a obehu ano ahwɛ da embi kra no the passport just to enable you travel back no the see and also no the aba na say na anase bibi na o say minu ejai minu tungwanta ya pai emba onya miribia na say me wo a menja wo na nso no beka me ho wa ha biemu a o say no utumi gina so na o apply wo krona wo mu no na wo dia application na obey no e dey application no so no ye be ma us 3 months dey bi ana say no e different kakra mpacho.
Oh, ya share sa case law no a mbie ekwan ama saafo no a sa nkrofo no a yamo won 2.5 na omwa ha na afide ye ko holiday aba na ye kugya won ho no sa nipa no be application to return under this provision ye dey atu edwa no ene na nipa no of course emra says application was under appendix FM family life no and as family migration as well and the ubetumi escalate to indefinite leave to remain. But let's go to page 16. Let's start from the top. Also eligibility to be able to apply for settlement. As my mention also, the person will be baby program way now. What kind of baby say? Lawyer say after there will be a student for crap with settlement. No. So that's why we are reading it together. To be eligible to apply for settlement, an applicant must have or have last been granted permission as one of the following. Inti so betumi akọ settlement this wa I just say we obi a we application kan no a ahun akoba nsensan because of domestic violence no we no under appendix FM except for permission as a fiancé for no there omoba to marry before they apply to remain with their spouses. So if you came as a fiancé, then this will not apply to you. But if you came as a spouse with the intention to settle, near amount 2.5, now by year 2.5 later, now when you're 5 years, no settle, now we are kwaba. You qualify for settlement now. We need that to send kaubenyano. The next group no a partner under appendix FM part 11. Here we are looking at appendix family reunion. We a protection a woman man crofo a refugee status. Until we a refugee for no. And they were partner of a person present and settled in the UK. We omo indefinite leave to remain no partners no. And I were a victim of domestic abuse under appendix FM general ones now your boss so no. You can see that there are different categories. They might be similar but differences. Into victim of domestic abuse under appendix FM will be up to 2.5. No so ebi. A partner under appendix armed forces. We are armed forces for a mono and then so mukumu except say nipa no eba say oba worry under the fiancé visa no or qualify for settlement. There are some criteria ewo and last one there very very important and then I'm say tie for na ahwefo ehwe no so na ma miskotu nia ye ka no ende no I say somebody granted leave outside the rules granted under the Migrant Victims of Domestic Abuse Concession, formerly known as the Destitution Domestic Violence Concession no nti obi mo a yamano sa akwenya no yewo policy bi a yefra no live outside the rules the live outside the rules policy ene na nkrofo gina so obi o ma waba visit okoye extension obeye no under live outside the rules policy obi o ma waba bibi ekosi opese oye bibi fan application no obeye no live outside the rules policy application bi a meyema obi nipa no diplomat partner diplomat for no your man visas they are exempt persons nti passport na yede ba ma won no visa na ebom no ya tro no exempt nti ono ohia visa ono nso owo visa. So what sort of visa is that? It's really nothing. Ena ne partner no ade ne bae no ono no ye diplomat wa serve ewo UK wie nti wa transfer no akwa another country. Ena family no because of nkola school ni ade nti omuntumi nko oman foforo so nti omo de omo aka ha ni ho a visa no a omo do wo no exempt visa because of diplomat family member no a omugina no sunya no. They want to remain. So the application I did was private life, but with the view to be granted leave outside the rules. Because Omundi 20 years to Okrumha. So on what basis? So we had to then go into the argument using leave outside the rules, concessions, and provisions. So that is an example. To live outside the rules, for sa nkrofo a go through domestic violence, or say, and the person had been immediately before we na ebesino granted permission under one of the above. Nti yɛfa say wono na wo 2.5 na sa issue aba na wa switch akọ sa category way so the amount 3 months. Can you escalate it? You can if you were first granted leave under one of the above. We are students, so you can't be under appendix FM. You be under appendix student. We are skilled worker. You cannot be under appendix FM or appendix armed forces. You be under appendix skilled worker migrant. Sanetia there, your leave before sa same way ABC mayabama 3 months was not one of the above. So can you go for escalation or a jump to indefinite? No. The moment I can say indefinite for domestic violence victims, but only for nkrofo or qualify, and yet for students, ne skilled workers are yes, mo 3 months. Na mo function mo how far? Na mo to me NG aban emboa. So 3 months, the question is what can you do? You have to be smarter to use it wisely.
Okay, yo, Asmah, you better see ye watch it, Musen Ebeya, yenya information eba no, yenya misunderstanding, ewo ho entity one man na ye claim, de amaya ensem. This particular one na ye canon is only for students, any care workers, no, or more dependent one sem ne can't say, oh, MBA 2.5, and now any other status so. Wona the you can say domestic violence na be lead to settlement no, but wo sam ade we so no student ne kan de ye say be ma bosume miensa na wo de ahwe wo how far sesi a ye nhwe bosume miensa emre ne komo ba bosume miensa na me de be hwe me how far answer na e be ma bosume miensa no sesi a tiefo se mu tie na mu hwe ya ye nyanya ntiase ewo ye can say domestic any violence ya tiase nioma chere say you are a victim and also yakika bia nye ebro nko a atemdidie ka ho ayemhihie ka ho nioma bebre ekeka ka ho a woni wukunu ana woni wumpra ana wo yire ana obi be dependent on ye can say student ana say care workers so no na ubefie mpo ubefie na oyam hihyew because ukunu wo ho ana dependent no wo ho ne o depend on so no owo ho a ube nyina chese wunyanka umbefie eni saa nyoma no ye ka domestic violence in fact esun ye enye se obro nko a ya cheche no nso ase afenso no ya kan ya ye gina so for students no ya kan ya ye gina so nso for care workers no ya kan nyoma obeye sisia no lawyer o say aban no eba ne saa na aban ne be ma me bosumi miensa na ansa na aban be ma bosumi miensa ne kra no meye den akoye saa application no ansana menya saa busum miensa na afi busum miensa no de na metumi ede aye na afi de mebie telephone lines no ametie for no mo bise mo question pa cho adaroma
Yo that's bebre na senya ye kire mu no enye careful enko enye careful enko workers skilled migrants nti say wo dey aye care wo dey aye teaching whatever industry it is insofar as say partner no kofa wo eba because ono no wo ade no so na we dependent of skilled worker no nti we are not focusing on care because it's not limited to carers. It's limited to or open to all migrant workers dependents. and so. Now, proof. How do you prove, say, you are a victim of domestic violence? We have psychological, we have emotional, we have physical, financial, sexual, or what have you. But the point in it, say, there are certain aspects you have to show, say, this is the case. Until so be ba yefa nia wo ho dada no kra enye example. Obi ba beka say lawyer me pese me yam application because me kun na ode me ba no o say on ye ma me biem de bia wo breso a ye be hwe wo visa no wu a ye be hwe wo de ye be boni friend blackmail. Oh yes sir, oh yes sir, oh yes sir. As I say, would the evidence best as na ekoso. Nti wode report ben na ebeba extra say ampa wo experiences are ade no bia wa ma wo GP aya we nti say GP aya we a GP be ma wo sa report no na say medical report no na impact ade abrel it could be say that as a result of that you are going through anxiety and depression or treatment so evidence one report to ama charities ebua either say bema and I say oba yes so we bema your men's refuge your we oba so your women's refuge for so ewo ho your shelter for ewo ho shelter for no charity omoboa nkofo omo sleep rough and I say omo ni baby eda shelter charity no omo adwuma omo ye eno no church community ni ade. So what step have you taken would the ebenya emwa because bema no and I say oba no say omwa obiem mwa ben na we siki say medical help, psychological help, counseling, what have you. Mwa ben na we siki. Until you enough to say oh na ekosu enini enti I want to do this. As I say we deal with evidence no eba. As I say we deal with statement and so emma lawyer no and I say so one away your application why we try with statement. With statement in any story no and the story should be corroborated. Corroboration is say wo bibia ebedi adanse say na wo kan no saa na etie ti GP report no corroborative evidence bi a wa report ama police but you did not press any charge and also wo police report number these days police will not give you any because omun ehu say nkrofo bebre efa saa ekwan no so for whatever reason but all the answer will report then you have date and time you reported. Some of my reference are fine. Some of my references so sometimes because serious maternity, the police will give you a note to confirm say it's been reported. So we can't when you have evidence, say na ekosu no nie. Ebi kura na your physical. So physical there, as a result of violence, when you're GBH and I say ABH. GBH, grievous bodily harm. It's a criminal offense for those who do it. And ABH, actual bodily harm. What's the difference? Remember our example. What bomasum? When sa and I would come so me and say my phone me cheek. And then you can say what bomasum. Two things can happen. And I say mark ebadaho and I said nothing will be there. Some mark ebadaho and I said minya serious injury. Then the harm has become grievous. And your friend grievous bodily harm no. And your actual bodily harm. Actual bodily harm no, of course. Sometimes you are not marking the whole but and yet that's serious. But it has happened. And you see example. Obi man dey so serious. You be na a cat cry na say bruises and na say your wound. There are instances and Crawford dey pictures baba no na so severe say how will anybody in his or her right sense may say to another human being. Ti ya kan nyina bomu a say yesa na esi dia you have the picture no to show say e bi a nipa no ball epia o you say whatever. There was one case nipa no was able to prove some bruises okomu to corroborate in the story no or the evidence by ema ya de ka ni application document no ehun ekoye ema onya the settlement for some time no. Until you have to prove your case. Say, we say, what do you know, and your physical, psychological counseling, ben in a we receive. Be a work camps for mental health checkup, counseling, until a maltreatment. Say a maltreatment, a report, and also evidence. Ni nyinaa no yɛ ka bɔ mu a yɛbɛtumi approve case sɛ ampa nea esi yɛ no it wasn't physical but emotional. There are even instances of bullying. Nti ni nyinaa no create violence ɛwɔ efie no emu. And because domestic no nti na yɛ limit no to efie efie ɛdeɛ no emu no. Nti sɛ wobɛtumi ayɛ wɔ application no yɛ ama 3 months saafoɔ no deɛ a ɛsɛ sɛ wode saa nneɛma nyinaa ɛka wɔ application no ho na wode kɔkyerɛ aban sɛ nea meka no ɛyɛ nokorɛ nti mungyina so na momma me 3 months na memfa nhwɛ me how far.
Yo, lawyer Asmah here does say, sir, dear friend, domestic violence and so dear also bo not just a new woman ankasa. Now what church kwanya a bit to me in your evidence, and yes, I would do one okay. Kwako catch home office for say, I'm a victim of a domestic violence in Tino, Miss Remo, Mama me 3 months nibi, na miss me fan me how far there be. Now, mom, you have to prove with all these things near na ubo udi kambo police for no say report ube call police no awaka say ampa me kunu abo masoma na say waye mbibia na say ya na mma no bebre mu suro lo Asmah be call police station na ehu ankasa kra sa chi omo say obesan abefie no ye besan abo na aka ho enti na ne or the ashen we've witnessed a whole lot of cases for afa sa domestic violence omo de akọ owuo mo enti entnasi kitwa bia enso entnasi na unye sa na unfe wu anaye board akro entu ba bia na obehu a wudi mu sa na odi wu mentnasi ubetumi akọ se ukọ police station na nse kromo ma report na they refer you to because your organization purposely they look into this domestic violence now until ukọ your victim obehu ye be ma ye until mbe go further to do a little bit assessment. They say ukọ bibi mu sa na we your first point of contact mbia ya bob dakra na say we piam mo akwhwe form na say bibia now the call police station say ukọ report na and now the call GP krana there are referrals ewo ho aye be ma na ya ma special ye kan say nkrofo a o me take you through counseling na ebisa ye go further assessment na omotumi ehu baby a ugina say na e affect ni ade nti misremo mamo nsuro so be ko such situation mamo nsuro kram ogbomode anonto anamo ogbomode anonto anamo se si e ba be hwe me na kwa na kwa be ba be hwe 3 months na ye de amount no so in case we go through all this process now fame home office say okay ye hu say ampa we go through sa animal memo because the evidence nyina akire yama 3 months no lawyer Asmah eden na obetumi eden na obetumi agina sa 3 months ne so na wo de aye na wo nso wo ho asensen wa na wenya fa ho de ewo kromu ampa cho obetumi akire ya be me de pa
Yo no say as a result of na wokomu no obviously one ma ban ehu say a marriage the marriage is invariably broken down and it is unlikely to be retrieved. And if it is broken down irretrievably, there is no divorce yet, but there's potential separation from what we see from the fact. There's potential separation. So sana here there obi baby said make me akọ ware foforo ana Well, I'm rather say before I were for this way I worry. And the over worry for is contentious. I cannot give you information on authority until I'll pause on that. Say, we bet not worry for within 3 months, and I say we worry for within 3 months, because 3 months is not enough to divorce and marry within that because of the process involved in divorce proceedings, So what can you do? You will live outside the rules, policy, and I say provision. So I was first granted leave as dependent of a student, or granted leave as dependent of a skilled worker. And in the course of the period, I went through domestic violence. Na saa na akɔba deɛ aban ama me 3 months. 3 months no ebewu nti mesrɛ aban sɛ ɔma me foforɔ. This time no, not on anything, but via the private life. Under appendix private life, there are 2 parts to paragraph 5.1, PL 5.1. Part A, say 20 years in the UK. B, 5.1b, or say less than 20 years in the UK, but with insurmountable obstacle. That means wundi 20 years, but say kasa ya di uko ukromu a dia bibi bato. So imagine say nimpa ya odi the story abe sa na all kan dia. Na yemfa say we go through psychological trauma or counseling or yes say or you treating for depression. Ne ne akeka ho a oda antidepressant so ne ade okonu kromu a will this treatment be available? So treatment ne available there, let's just say more or less na what can say nipa no nkono useless, can even affect in life, which can lead to loss of life. So there, can you apply under paragraph PL 5.1b of appendix private life? I will say potentially. It's a matter of argument. I will be put forward, Enti uputu sa argument, forward. Na aban etie. So that is one way of migrating.
Yeah, hey, lawyer for the money, my dear. Hey, let's just say you have to really argue your case in senior Beya. Say PL 5.1b, PL 5.1b, to me argue case ni ye pa na say ye to me ama inti sa instances now the Becky can't come home. Say nipa no ye jano oba kurom ha wabenya fa hode kakra wa ha afa ye ofre ni kurom nso ba no ne anim so ye nipa tuturu bi a afa waba abroche na ye nim se abroche de esesa wo kɔ eyie mu ensesa wo emba wechi na ye bete no ye se wenya depression kra yen kurom depression ye se wabodam yen kurom depression no sa na ye so wabodam okɔ abroche wakɔ bodam de aba all this stigma no ebeka wo ho se yen fa wo nkofie lawyers no be gina case ne so aye case ama neoma ayeye lawyer Asmah that's wo honom enti de che say ne atie bia bibi ka wo ho a lawyers no betumi anase wo situation na wo mu no ye betumi agina bibi so na ye de twetwa agya agyew e wo sa 3 months de neoma bebre beba na lawyer Asmah ye ka 3 months no bebre beba na afenso no say ye wo case mbia wa fa emreni ntimi rashi kakra wa fa sa 3 months no wa yes sa application ya me kan bia ye gina sa 5 PL 5.1b ni so ne de aye na ye nso ye ma ye memfa oba na de me se ye wo ma so women so ye mfa se oba na will go through domestic violence na ukunu ana unipa ne wo wa tete wa ma we you oba uba kra we you nyo megufie we you nyo megufie evidence bibi a trese ampa uba fie no we you nyo megufie na o you nyo megufie okọ hu asorefo anasa wadanfofo omonyina betumi di adanse se ampa papa na aye use na nsenkra matro statement ama obisa why you say na omo nso anya evidence or wako GP why bibia wanya sa 3 months no anase why yes 3 month application no ye nya mfa ma o ne obehu within 1 month ya ukwa kosu obi so meka osu obi so a ye nyina nim cry on my shoulders na we share obe maybe wo lorry kwan so ne awusu di atete wo ye na o se o enye hwe wo de ukru abo abra metumi ama one or two place na wada da ba ko da mienu bi na wo de ahwe ne obetumi aye nwe ya ni se santan bibi akoso ma nyensen aba Asmah wo okunu na abo na we fi ni fie o say me obi ama me baby na me fan separate me ho kakra o me kunu nchen me hu an se me nipa kro no afenyi nsen we de ye by accident me hu an 1 month no se me nyem nim se enye me kunu na enye nsen me ye case bi kakra me nim se be fa na se mfa na afi wo nim se wo kunu na enyem o na wo so nim se obema fofure na enyem o wo twa wo case ya ma 3 months no enyamba afere wo say yefru no eba ana say we yes application now within few days na home office for ma 3 months na etume che na say won say backlog nti application e bi check akra na ana sempo why ne ama 3 months na wo dey hwe wo how far no within 3 months na wo ya ekwa kowu na afe wasa akobisa say ye ma o emre kakra na fa ye bibi due to insurmountable circumstances awo mu no na nyensen aba nyensen na eba nipa kunu a one ne nyensen bia no no won krata Asmah menim say case am create is real to me see but say ebi esi that dey menim but real ebetumi esi e ma yesugu mema so de do so be hu an no ma hye nyensen mbacho ubetumi aye bibi wo ho.
I mean, yeah, I know what you are thinking. So I can respond to your thoughts. Now, a woman is nipa no a sa victim of domestic violence na we fifie no na wenya good Samaritan na aboa no na during that period no wanyem no we are not really interested in who impregnated her anyway.
Okay.
We want to trace the child to the father.
Okay.
Then we can ascertain akwalani status.
Sir.
Yeah, I should say, my minister betumi nye bibi ewom da chin bia.
Okay.
What is the position? The legal position. Nipa no within 3 months no na say time or go through violence no. Unja aware.
Okay.
Possibly.
All right.
Because any possible say that period na dream kra no ewo treatment so and support so no. E ma na dream so ko ja aware.
Sir.
And possible say or go through some violence no. 1 minute 3 months there, but unja no kunu a ode ne baaye no.
Yate.
And as a bear man so a unja oba no, but of course because of you saying part ninty, it cannot be Burma unless extreme Burma. And it's possibly say a oba.
Sir.
Time because I'm not omunja aware no. The law is this that if you at the time of birth, so what warrior, akwala no papa eye nia ote aware na se no anase nia wona na aware no
sanity
say mo fight and say mo yeah whatever misunderstanding. That is not the point. The point is legally who is the father of the child. The policy guidance you can want asemi does not stretch to cover paternity and maternity in that instance.
Okay.
And therefore, it is the default position.
Okay.
The legal father of the child is the one married to the mother of the child at the birth of the child. Inti yawa kwalai. Yes, bema fufuro no ni na mami anyem na akwalai epiem. But mami no na wawari obi. Santi akwala ne de ne papa ewo. So the papa no a ote aware na se ba because omunja aware nti aware no legally ewo.
Sir.
Because you decide what is your status you won't say divorced. You say separated. Separation is not divorce, and therefore aware no ɛwɔ hɔ in a way. And now say you even say marriage, yes, say bibi na eden ɛkɔ so. Saa na ɛteɛ deɛ a akwalaa no yɛ ne papa. Papa is not obi, ɛna ɔde maa o. We are not talking about students. So we are students there. Some cry be and cry no. Would them cry be a chum and I say we are school into EU. And Obano is with what you don't have.
Okay.
So skilled workers were sir. But because I can skilled worker for one some any 3 months period, you know. And any conversation, you know. So our job my and the Bemanoa a yakolano e papa no. Any bema no a ɔte aware no ho legally ɛwɔ time a yɛwo akwalaa no.
Okay.
Unless say within that period no mogya aware. So mogya aware deɛ before yɛbɛwo akwalaa no, of course it takes 9 months.
Yes.
Nti sɛ adeɛ na start now you are going through this. No way initiate divorce proceedings. Now because someone tena krom ha at least 1 year, you cannot initiate it in the UK.
Exactly.
Marriage was contracted abroad. So say, which me enya divorce papers no ewo abroad before akwala no yaba woni dia enya akwala no papa no ene papa no a ohwe wo yinse no. So sa papa no ohwe wo yinse no owo bi dia
na be cover.
So oya British akwala no ewo eya British citizen.
Okay.
Nya obaya no say obaya passport ama akwala no. So when definitely so akwala no ya British citizen.
Okay.
Obaya passport ama akwala no. Enti but so nibi but later no obenya bi dia that's a different conversation to register the child. But because a short time space in it. Say you be a share say akwala no a British citizen under section 1 of British Nationality Act and now say on ye British citizen no. You bet me Tracy. You Tracy no you confirm so a British citizen now. The child is a British citizen. So akwala no you British citizen now. The child will qualify under section 117D of the relevant statute. Yes, say akwala no you qualifying child. So akwala no you qualifying child then you can depend on this qualifying child to make your application as a parent of a qualifying British child or EU child.
Okay. Hey, yete. Seni etie bia ekwan da ho. Ye nua be ma odi hye ba nana kwaku me dede. Hey, bra me te won ka che o si ebefa. Ebefa mpa. Yo, or the question be by it's for maybe a telephone line. I'm saying come on AI maybe a telephone lines in the next 20 minutes. So question be bisa. Efa near ya ka ho anasempo eye bibi different still akwenya wo ho mano momfre wo momfre na Women's Day na eye numbers ne 0208123116 and I says 07399208468 sanso na embia na baby o no tumi ja voice note mebo ama kama eye WhatsApp number ne so pe emfre na nja message wo voice mail your voice note WhatsApp ne so 07596620154 Misro 07596620154 ubetumi eja message no ho mebo ama kama na lawyer ebisa lawyer yemkwe no obi ebisa question bi na mpese nka ofre na ochechire mu obisa say yenua bema audition ba. And I say, what about if they are siblings but not married people? Internet just say, or can say domestic violence. Uniate. Audition mementi asemu na America, but so want to say who fro based on the question of bisa na obe to me a friend na we bisa na yehu emu ye. Say uni anu motifie na uni na ono so abuse you na just say ubefia ebusia ofie na because also you're dependent on your papa na o mame na obi abuse ofie ho a also to me go through sa anyoma yimu ana eno na minim se sana ye nua be modi sheba obisana enye saade a misro bomode ana frɛ 0208123116 na bisa question no na yenko mebie telephone lines no yo lawyer enti no say that maybe sa no menim se sa na entiase ne tia ana
I
wo
think we have to
entiase.
give him benefit of the doubt and respond to his concern.
Okay.
The question was clear. Or say, it is not about partner, but a sibling.
Okay.
Nti ni nua no okofa ne baaye, na ni nua no etietie no. Nti ye nua ode hye ba. I take you back to the law. And rather say dependent spouse. Dependent spouse, not dependent sibling. So the law will not cover this person.
Okay. Straightforward is straightforward. But when it comes to violence, domestic violence, family do na be go through be. But in this case, no, where we are treating topic I can no dependent of say ukru na uyire anase bibi enti ubetumi afre lawyer yenko yenim maybe telephone lines no mpacha ubetumi afre na wonso we bisa se wo friend so na minim se go through na se go through enko through ubetumi asend voice note ewo 07596620154 ne so na aye sometimes telephone line technically no o fry be say ringing so na enhye da emba system ne mo yetanya bisa bebree na why odi hye ba yenso ye da ase se ohia nkoma ye di no se lawyer se ne o cheche mu no atowa so na weni age ho abomodia na frɛ lawyer e wo 07947 636037 frɛ lawyer Asmah na onene nka wase nyina obi be ka kire me o se opamechopi odi ni kro no a student dependent ni bisara na oyo bema ni yire no akọ school no owie anyame adom apply for 2 years no ama ya ma ni 2 years no 2 years nti se ya ni 2 years no ewu aka be 3 or 4 months bi em say 3 months na o kan say ebewu se si a o se ne kunu na ya ni dependent no o se on pɛ ne baby mfa no on pɛ ne biom Asmah obi say no ono so to me go question there me sure so tie na ono kra topic e ba ne na me de pa because obviously coincidence or there ha me anadwe sa Asmah obi say den ono so be
We have to establish the trigger. You see, your story is this. Nimpano, omatna, omwecha student, omwecha graduate route.
2 years na so
Aka 3 months. 3 months na aka no a in some baba no, you know who said they have issues.
That's right.
But
No,
if that's the case, say nipa na to establish domestic violence and rather say because say student no je ni dependent no tremu and na oni no call graduate route no so no as a tag along dependent no. Of course, say at that point no domestic violence is here. Let's be proving the case there. Then this will cover the person.
Now ono sa no obekọ you can say PL 5.1b ni so and I say ono ne de na obekọ straight to back no you can say indefinite ne de no so
Sanipa way no original visa no nya fi
student
nti obekọ original and so obekọ new one so
lawyer how dey me
the new one.
It will be a new one because graduate route so.
Yes, so the point we are making is all those who will escalate to indefinite, should have been under appendix family life or appendix armed forces or appendix refugee status and so on and so forth. But we know would they students and skilled worker and new concession akava you don't have amnesty for indefinite.
Okay.
So the question is, what is the policy intent for start 3 months? What 3 months and So why will you give anybody 3 months? But
Okay.
is 3 months not better than nothing?
Kwata.
Yeah, it's better because within 3 months, you can explore your options within the law.
Okay.
We are not saying, say, your private life live to remain. You ask the question, say, signing pan application ben obetumi aye. Now your response to be say, oh, signing pan way, so betumi prove say there is insurmountable obstacle as a result of domestic violence in the year. And yeah, obetumi move after 3 months, to private life under
Okay.
PL 5.1B.
Business. Okay.
And now to say, signing pan way will go through treatment. Until 3 months now, so still our treatment air so. But my application and I live outside the rules policy for extension of time to complete or to continue the treatment.
Okay.
Na aworje aba na we kweshia no dofo foforo no dofo betumi agina atenam. Whether there is a child or no child. Because the argument you put you forward they say Santa Makasa ke mumieni na munko fie na munko ware wo na munko bom bra e wo ho. But you can raise insurmountable obstacle argument. So obi a ma go through domestic violence. Na aban wo kra wo ya aware wa boa me. I can even access benefits. So you have my case already. And you want me to go and maybe die. That is harsh. So if we can argue along those lines, then it's likely that Nippon will succeed. So worry, Nanikunu, Ernest Yuri, Ejino, Atinemu after 3 months in one. So those are the extension parameters for Omoa, Omenya 3 months through provision.
Okay. Asmah, say emre na ko na obi the case bi abra me hwe nyina na me kan. Very funny, and I don't know how we can explore that. Answer na meka case no mesra mo ni die mo 020812310116 and 0307399208468. Lasma edoso but marka mu na no ne tietie mu a ne se bebo. Okay, ne tietie mu a ne se asama ye ka ho asemi domestic violence ye asemi. Enye eno in particular but student foi somewhere bi na odi abetu menum sesie ne opa kire ne se nokre one ne yire go through or a student student obema na oware oba ni ba na one ne ba krum ha we wie school ni mom na tama omubaye na no osi tama omubaye na ena akasa no say ne yire no enko weja na ware enti oba ne beye basa ewo krom a just first 3 months na so oba no okọ back because ne kru no ye dependent on ne kru ne ja no ama ye divorce ne frifie e de aba say weja no yo but gay ya nko oni nemu a no koshia be maybe ehye ne nyensen emretiawe mu o ehye ne nyensen ana say ansa na 1 year ne bedu no na obayi wawo into mo worry 3-4 months na mo ja aware no nim 9 months na girl awo owo ye no divorce aba into obema foforo na one ne nyensen ye no ena oye ma no ye ma akwala no akwala no ye British into oba na gina ne so enya 2.5 lawyers case yamfa betu menim a nka menim say to me sisa ena me calculate date no so a me hu no kre no se ne etie but sa no mo ka no waware no wanware no waya akwala no ama akwala na enya ma oba na gina akwala no so ma sesi oba no so hwe ne ba with sa 2.5 ibi o de hwe akwala no boy ya oye student wakochi mwa say na school no wanye nwie nto no so ya ne santan oni nemu saa okohu ni yiri that day ya ohun say kai akola we die wan hwe ye me ba boy ya fight ama sisi ade ni a kire say eye ne ba la Asmah oso obeje ne ba case sere ye bibi nso no ye real case ye dey abetu me la Asmah obi say den obeye den how eye possible mpo
ne ba no anasa ne a olusu ne ba no
ne oyu ne gan no ne ofoforo no ne konyem ye oye ma akra na ye British no omo wo ho nanso okunu dada na oye student na wanko school na ode atete jai girl yi eno akohu akwala no akra ne munyin we kohu no we hu se kaish akra yi de oseme dodo enti wakofitiri mu anu akohu de ni se eye ne ba enti eye ne ba no se obeje ne ba ana obegina akwala no so e de nya bibi la Asmah eye possible mpo ana.
Okay. So first, nya papa we enka papa B. Nya papa B can say papa A is not the father.
Sir.
Because of nya papa B ayeno a wetumi proving the case na yaje akwala na amaninti. Status akwala ni nya fi papa A ho no is not valid. Because papa B bad there, why do you derive benefit from papa A? Under section 1 of the British Nationality Act, saying, say, at the time of my birth, my father was a British citizen. So I am a British citizen.
What I'm
saying is that Akolano lose the status.
Oh, okay.
That's the whole thing. Because what it means is that, but for some mistake, you know, Akolano be.
Okay.
But you see, I hear who say Akolano and Nanke, you say the man no. Should we still leave it and say Jifinism?
Hey, where do you go?
Yeah, there was one case I did. Akolano was a British citizen from a different father, or for a different father. Let me put it that way. The new father, no Papa B, claimed the child through DNA and a court.
Okay.
Then they cancelled Akolano passport, and the citizenship because Akolano cannot be a default British citizen under Section 1 of the British Nationality Act.
Okay.
So Akolano ni bi. Nti ne akwaya say papa no na ono ewo set na Akolano anya 10 years ewo UK. So the application Emma Akolano based on the private life as a child born, bred in the UK literally, and now 10 years.
Okay.
The register Akolano and no registration certificate. And that passport for Eba Akolano.
Okay.
Then we had to explain the change. Because we have application, maybe so said, is this a new passport or a renewed passport or a replacement? You have to state it. Will you say a new passport or replacement passport? Per this argument, a new passport.
New passport.
Then this will be said, do you have previous passport? Will you say yes or no? You say yes. Then the question will be, then why are you coming for another passport if it is not a renewal or replacement? Then you set out the reasons, the context, to make it clearer. So it was issued by the mistake because Home Office was trouble by passport was trouble by Sakolano, your British citizen. The passport, is no longer valid.
Lawyer made that say, but case no emodo say ni American no nti no mesre wo na kohun lawyer because me is very sure say ni a open no minim ba law ni betumi akire bibi ama na benefit in one way or the other nti no bomode na kohun lawyer bomode betumi afre lawyer Charles see a ye bewie program na ma no be 20-30 minutes bi no fam pension ngu ne mremo na fe wa frɛ 07947 thank you. 0794763 6037. Bomodia na free lawyer because questions now was our trouble be been make say make your program no ye and to just go and see the lawyer na kan nyina kire no na ehu papa bi na won so wo ye British na wo nim sa akola na ye wo dia ye minim se wa ware oba no se won ware an questions ne dos wa do nti bomodia momye no nyina momfa akola no ne oba no monko na monko hu lawyer Asmah na obehwe mo nyina mo case ni yie na baabi se ye de to no na ye de ato ama mo nyina manya ho mfaso obema na after all wo no wo a we British no unni case a you've got nothing to lose say akwala na ya wo na wa hwe no na ebe ha oba no so ne wenya no obema dada no de no betumi. It's a whole complicated issue. Sisi amema akwenya ama meni aba lawyer Annie na onfa the English version of today's program. No family to na afede sorry and so. Thank you. You are welcome, my dear sister.
Hello, good morning, everyone. So, yeah, I'll just be providing a summary for today. So, we looked at the new domestic violence provisions, specifically relating to students and care worker dependents. So, we looked at the guidance that was recently published for Home Office staff, that was published on the 31st of January 2024. And the main change that has taken place is that students and economic migrants can now apply for domestic violence destitution applications. So initially they couldn't do it, but now students and economic migrants can apply under this provision. So to begin with, what constitutes domestic violence? So the word domestic in itself insinuates that it's taking place at home behind closed doors, and there are various types of abuse that someone can experience. So we have, for example, physical violence, whereby someone is actually being physically hurt, they're being scratched, beaten. We can also have psychological abuse, such as mind games, blackmail. Charles provided a good example. For example, if someone is married to a British citizen, and they came here because of that spouse, and the British citizen keeps kind of telling them that they will return them back to where they belong or where they're coming from. So that is all part of mind games and blackmail. Someone can experience sexual abuse, so rape. There's financial abuse, emotional abuse. So there's quite a few of types of abuse that someone can go through. So today we looked at who is eligible to apply for settlement under Appendix Victim of Domestic Abuse. So first of all, if you came to the UK as a spouse with intention to settle, then you can apply. You would be eligible. So this means that you have to be a spouse. You need to be married to the other person. So you shouldn't be a fiance, for example. If you came as a partner of someone with refugee status, the provisions would apply to you as well. If you came as an applicant of someone who has indefinite leave to remain, it would apply to you as well. So we looked at basically if you are eligible to apply under Appendix Victim of Domestic Abuse, you will have 3 months basically to apply for leave to remain. So this is a short period of permission to stay independent from the person that you were initially relying on. So this 3 month period will give you the time to switch. So you would be able to switch or to apply rather for indefinite leave to remain as a victim of domestic abuse, and you will also have access to public funds during this period. So it's important that as an applicant, you're able to show that your relationship broke down because of domestic violence. So we looked at the evidence that you would provide along with your application. So if you experienced, actual bodily harm, you can, if you have been to a GP, you can rely on the GP's medical report. So the medical report would, state, well, what you have been through, the type of harm that has been caused on you, if you have been to any type of shelters, that too, you can ask them to provide letters to confirm that you have been there. Or if you have spoken to any type of professional, for example a pastor or someone in the mosque, they too can basically put it in writing just to help with your application. And if you have experienced, for example, emotional harm and you have been to counseling or therapy, you can also rely on reports from those professionals. And if you have been living with friends because you have tried to get away from your spouse who has been abusing you, and you've been living with friends, you can ask your friends or family to provide you with letters to confirm that indeed they have been providing you with accommodation. And if your partner has, any criminal convictions for domestic violence, or they have received any police cautions, or you have in the past applied for any protection orders specifically for domestic violence, you can rely on all of those to help with your application. So that is just a quick summary for today. Thank you very much.
Thank you too. Kind of saying, Jumadie ni nyinaa yɛbɛda ase. So I want to talk about podcast and the English version of it. Thank you so much, lawyer Annie. Afei yɛde dwumadie no ɛbɛwie yɛmmerɛ ne kora ɛkɔ. Nti no mɛbisa lawyer Asmah wɔ last words bi anaa biribi a ɔde bɛdwae na wɔtwe mu ansa na nyame yɛ adom ɔkyena yɛasan hyia. Lawyer Asmah mpakyɛw.
Yo, for the Ashafor, and then Ibisa Yaho, a samba coupe. Say, Emrano, a bind jabba, say, a domestic violence, Onwa, Ebeboa student dependent, and a skilled worker dependent, no, Emrano, near woman is saying, na kwan ben so, and na obefa, na den na ubenya efum. The many nane say, domestic violence, and she say, and yet one, or more day 2.5, if he, outside aba entry clearance anaasɛ ɔmo anya wɔ ha pɛ na mmom student foɔ no so a ɔmo wɔ ha as dependent nso no ɛbɛkaba wɔn na skilled workers dependent foɔ no so a ɔmo wɔ ha no so ɛbɛkaba wɔn na mmom ɛsɛ sɛ ɔmo prove sɛ ɔmo go through saa domestic violence no ɛsɛ sɛ ɔmo de evidence a yɛabobɔ so no ɛba na ɔmotumi edi adanse sɛ saa na ɛteɛ. One idea I sometimes you can't the sexual side now. So we be man now or your bema, but now or deny or no sex. And that's all your bar no deny bema no sex. And then no your violence no no. And there are some which are covert, some which are overt. But when I be who say over to me, I can na a boom. Now we make you a case for near open say would not so no. Enti saa na mmara no kan mmara no say wobetumi approve case na aban ba ma 3 months nti 3 months yɛ de ma wa wobɛyɛ independent of saa nipa no a ɔde wo baayɛ no nti wonyɛ dependent biom na mmom wo wa wo 3 months a wode bɔ bra the same time wobetumi nso enya benefit a wobetumi di edidi sɛ nkwalaa wo mu a wobetumi di aboa wo ba no nso and I said, wow. Now, within that 3 months, necessary, is entirely up to you. Emrano enka what you can do, but you have to know what to do after 3 months, So this is what is in the rule, and this is what you get. So we yes our application, no ekoma abaya.
Yo, lawyer Asmah, yɛbɛda ase. Tiefoɔ no ahwɛfoɔ aha na nyame ama yɛ adom na yɛde dwumadie no aba awie. Megye de sɛ wonya wo kyɛfa wɔ mu sɛnea ɛtie biara no frɛ office hɔ na bɔ mmɔden na bisa wo question anaasɛ how a ɛhaw no bɔ mmɔden na fa kɔto ɔmo anim. Ɔmbɛtumi edi ho dwuma de ama wo. Mede ane Manye Ten. Megye de sɛ sɛnea woate na woanya ho enimdeɛ no share to other people. No mo nso mo hu. So wo ba so na you we ni like the page my like the page in my now subscribe to our channel no nso se na be ya de bia ebenya akwanya no na ye di sa adwumedi asa bro media no manye te me ma mo nyina a very happy weekend and then happy Women International Day. Ebio, bye bye.
Welcome to BWF Solicitors, a trusted and experienced family law firm specializing in immigration and naturalization, as well as dispute resolution. Meet Bernard Owusu, our esteemed senior partner with over 30 years of experience and known for his expertise and dedication to serving our clients and the community. BWF Solicitors stand for integrity, respect, excellence, teamwork, diversity and inclusion, and service to the community. We provide tailored assistance across all areas of UK and Ghana law. At BWF Solicitors, every day is filled with dedication, creativity, and a commitment to finding the best solutions for our clients. Led by experienced senior partner Bernard Owusu, the team at BWF Solicitors is ready to assist you with your immigration, naturalization, dispute resolution, family law, new wills and probate, Ghana law and practice needs. We are dedicated to providing solutions to our clients' problems. You can find us at the 4th floor, Anna House, 214 to 218 High Road, Seven Sisters, London, N15 4NP. Main office line 0208 493 7340 or our emergency line 07712 761 884.